Somebody's left their backpack. Who knows what this has been? Yeah, so I don't really know the history of this place, what this has been, but shall try and look into it. Obviously very derelict now. Nice haunt for graffiti artists inside. As far as I'm concerned today, it's just a nice little place to you know, stop for a bit of refreshment, go out for exercise. So, I think I brought a can. What? Yeah, got a can of McEwen's. I have another can as well. Just put the baby wipes back together. Right, so out for a bike ride and just a little pit stop here, just to catch my breath and have a little can of refreshment. So today I've got the Greek Ale Works Phantom Pale Ale, which is from Aldi. No doubt some of you will have seen this in Aldi, you maybe even tried it, but it says it's crafted in small batches. I can't remember reviewing it before, but I might have done on a previous video. It crafted in small batches using Citra, Mosaic, Topaz, Ella and Galaxy hops, so it sounds nice enough. Do you know, I might have had this before. perhaps filmed myself drinking one of these as part of 4 cans in Dalston, but maybe I didn't, I don't know. But yeah, let me just put the backpack on. I don't often use 2 straps, but in the days of being out on the bike more in good weather during lockdown for the exercise, the 2 straps do come in handy. It's a nice quiet place this to stop as well, quite nice enough for a little kind of refreshment. I guess the graffiti artists may be here later, although you'd imagine that daylight's good for them as well to be doing their craft. Who knows, they might come out with the torches at night. Just looking in there, there's some 130-year anniversary cans of San Miguel, so they must have been there not too long. But anyway, I digress. Let's have a taste of this pint. That's nice and refreshing. Yeah, quite nice. It's got a little bit of a slightly tangy taste, which plays around on your tongue a bit when you're savouring it. By the way, I've just come out on this bike ride, and so I've not had anything else since I left the house whilst on the bike, so the palate should be pleasantly refreshed by saliva and maybe a few of those things when you're having exercise. What do you call those things that come out? Adrenaline. Might be tasting a bit of adrenaline with the ale, but to be honest I haven't been pushing the limits or in pushing myself. But yeah, that's a nice enough little pint. Yeah, can recommend that. It's got a clean, refreshing taste, but with a sort of a tangy edge. Very pleasant. What about the ABV? A friend of which of mine said never neglect the ABV, and I think it says 4.8 there, so it's a reasonably strength beer, not down to a session ale. Yeah, pleasant enough on the palate. Nice and crisp, refreshing, ideal for the summer, which we are about to embark on. So I would recommend that little that little can. Fit in Aldi. Do have some reasonable stuff. Can't remember if it was 99. I think it was off the 99p range. I think it was, you know, can't fault that. It's alright for what it is, very pleasant. Anyway, whilst out for refreshment today, I don't have any pies. Out for refreshment, I meant whilst out having refreshment, whilst cycling. And do take your exercise seriously, folks. In fact, I hope I've brought this little snack with me. I thought I had, but I may have neglected to bring it. Oh dear. Have I indeed left it behind? I'd be very disappointed if I have. Oh no, here it is. So I will surprise you with my little snack. Okay, it's all fine. Of course, anyone could walk around here at any time, especially when I'm like talking here and giving a sort of a vlog on a bike stop. Because just the other side there, just behind the trees there, is a public highway, but it's not like a thoroughfare as such. It's a, well, if I stitch this video together that I've been videoing on the bike, you'll see exactly where it is anyway, so pop in some time and have yourself a look. Anyway, just a little swig there. Let's pause the video and restart so it's not too long a segment. Are we rolling? It's flashing, so I believe so. Yeah, so no pie trials today. But what I have, folks, here is a very tasty nugget, which is the Tunnocks caramel wafer, which you'll all be familiar with. As most of you will know, the Tunnocks factory was about to close. I don't know if it has yet. I imagine it probably has. So the Tunnocks factory was closed due to lockdown to keep the staff safe and to yeah, just have a pause until things are not quite as ridiculous as they are now. So you all know the Tunnocks caramel wafer. It is a legend. It is a legend of legendary proportions. How's that for a caramel wafer? Absolutely delightful. Legendary. As you'll know, as you've all partaken of these, chocolates is a very thin layer, but then there are the chocolatey bits inside throughout the wafer as well. The wafer is nice and crispy, but not too crisp. It's balanced with the caramelly substance and flavour. So it's not a crunchy dry wafer, and it's not a soggy wet wafer. It's a well balanced wafer. That's very tasty, and a nice little carbs boost for the onward journey on the bicycle. Very nice. So folks, if you haven't got stocked up on Tunnocks caramel wafers, make sure you do soon, because as we learned 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever, the factory is closing temporarily due to the coronavirus. So get them off the shelves of the supermarkets whilst you can. I'll not drop my litter because it's such a well kept environment where I am. Okay, I might bring this to a close soon because if you're still listening, you've been very patient. But I'm usually out tasting pies or just like ranting and, you know, giving a discourse about something, whatever's going through my mind. And often there is a beer to try along the way, especially when I've not been driving. But yeah, just trying to think what I was going to actually, you can't see it here, but the roof's gone here, as you may discern from looking anyway, and I'm sure that's a roof. There's been a roof light in the roof, and the metal frame for the skylight, roof light, whatever, is down there behind the bike. Not that it's of utter importance, it's not utterly important, but anyway. Right, what was I saying? Well, thanks for listening, folks, and thanks for watching if you still are. It's probably a good year to do a little vlog here actually, because at this time of day, what we're on now, I think it's about 8:30, is it? Oh crikey, it's almost 10 to 9. So, you know, the nights are getting lighter. It's what, today, the 27th of April, I believe. Welcome back, Prime Minister. Don't know what I've got in my mouth there. Maybe a little, don't know, a bit of twig or something, or something that was stuck in my teeth. Not to do with caramel. Hope it hasn't come out the beer, but yeah, just a little bit of some sort of debris. I don't know. What was I saying? Yeah, welcome back, Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Welcome back, sir. Pleased to see you fitting well. Don't know what that was. I think it's gone. I don't really want to touch my mouth. Well, I haven't touched anything else, so and if I do touch my mouth, I don't want to touch anything else because somebody else might be here later. Anyway, yeah, so welcome back, Prime Minister. Good to see you fitting well again and back on duty. There's a long way to go, folks, isn't there? It's depressing, really, the message at the minute. And let me just pause here and say hi, thanks for watching and all that. I don't want to get into politics and stuff, so I'll just create another segment for this. But thanks for watching, folks, and take care and get yourself a nice beer at times and a nice pie at times and a Tunnocks caramel wafer if you've still got any in the cupboard, or if you can still source them when you're out for your essential shopping. Bye for now. Or stay tuned if you want to listen to what I've got to say in general. Yeah, hi, if you're still watching, folks. I've just been talking about the Tunnocks caramel wafer and the kind of freak ale works. What was it, that one? Phantom Pale IPA. And then I was just going to go into sort of that. I mean, I don't want to do it really because I don't want to go into a general moan. I mean, there's a lot to moan about, isn't there? Who would have thought we would have been in this position, this lockdown, you know, 5 weeks and counting, or whatever it is. It's unimagined. We didn't imagine it in our lifetimes, did we? However, we were scared sometimes when we heard of SARS, stuff like that. Swine flu, SARS. These things have come and gone in the news over the years, and then we feel, oh, what if that spreads and comes to Europe and all that and such like. You know, we've done that in years gone by, and we've watched some of these films before that foretell of potential pandemics, and so in the back of our minds it's not something that is a major shock that we never thought could happen, but it just becomes surreal when it is happening. And living through it is the main focus. I mean, like I say, we're 4 to 5 weeks into a lockdown, and we've been told really in no uncertain terms that don't expect normality perhaps for a year or anything, you know, very close to it. We may not be able to have proper normality again unless and until a vaccine is here and widely available, and you know, we're told that's not going to be till next year. But there are some green shoots of hope that it may be in the autumn, and so if it's in the autumn and it's available in numbers enough, then obviously the first thing we would do is roll it out to the residents of care homes, people who are needing to shield at the minute, and other at-risk groups as numbers of this vaccine become available. I think at that point you've got to reopen, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get into the ins and outs of this too much, because at the end of the day I'm just out for a bike ride, and I've stopped for a bit of refreshment. I've stopped at this building, the purpose of which I don't know what was for, and the history of which I do not know about, but obviously somebody will recognise it. I mean, I've half wondered about it at times before, but never really stopped at it. What I was going to say before, if I didn't finish saying it, was it's a nice year to stop here and do a little vlog like this, because had I done it last year, there would have been teams of people looking at me wondering what the hell I was doing from this like beer garden right next door to this place. But they may have cheered, they may have clapped, they may not, they may have just thought I was some kind of freak or whatever. But at the end of the day, all you can do is vlog if that's what you want to do. I mean, I'm getting off track again now, so let me just finish what I was saying. So yeah, we knew there was going to be a lockdown. We knew it before it happened. We were there like when the pubs shut that Friday, thinking through the week before that the pubs are going to close, but they might close them in London first because London's so bad, and then we might be a few days behind. And you think, well, no, you don't want people then travelling out of London to go to the pub, so you're going to have to do the whole country at once. And then we get all the shops closed, and we knew we were, you know, 2 or 3 weeks behind Italy, whatever. thankfully, you know, God rest his souls, everyone in Italy who's died, and God bless your families. And you know, I do know some Italian people, and my thoughts are with everyone. And by the way, you know, I do know some people who have been directly affected by this, or I have known some people who have been directly affected by this, and I know some people, you know, and for everyone, including people, you know, friends, close friends whose families have been affected by this, my thoughts go out to you. It looks like we were 2 or 3 weeks behind Italy, and then we ended up more than 2 or 3 weeks behind. But because we were 2 or 3 weeks behind, we ended up with these hospital projects, the Nightingale hospitals and everything. I mean, I'm sure the government were freaking out big style. Now, it hasn't got as bad as that, has it? But now, we're in a situation where the government was reluctant to lock down fully at the start because, well, it just hadn't been done here before, has it? Well, you know, not for centuries, and it didn't work like that then. People weren't universally controllable by governments in that sense back then. But they must have been freaking out, and but we've been sort of drip fed. You know, we look at what's happened elsewhere in the world, and we've been drip fed into a situation where we see there's no way out of this other than the infection rate has got to get really low until you have any meaningful relaxations on movement and social activities. Now, that's a really, really bad situation to think about, isn't it? Going forward, between now and any vaccine being available. It's difficult, but what we weren't prepared for when this lockdown started was for it to go on for like 6 months or 8 months. We were thinking 3 months, and then we can get back to a reasonable level of mortality. Yes, I mean, that works actually, reasonable level of mortality and normality. So let's hope it's something akin to that. It's not going to be, is it? End of March, April, May, June. We're not going to have a normal July, but let's hope that by September, August/September, let's say by the August bank holiday, there's an ability for people to be a lot more normative, and business is to be a lot more normative by then. And by then, we're going to then, to enable us to do that, we're going to have this track and tracing and all that sort of thing set up much, much better, and maybe some positive initial trials results of vaccines. But of course, we're told vaccines are hit and miss, and it often takes years. But let's just hope that our government and the governments of the world are doing everything that they can to hasten the process for an effective vaccine. Because in the time of the plague, when was that a virus, was that a bacteria? In the time of the plague, you didn't have science as advanced, and you didn't have governments as advanced, and you didn't have medical science as advanced enough to shift things along at a faster rate. We've seen many vaccines that have been very effective, but they've all taken time. But we've been given this virus in effect by wherever it came from in China, and we've been given it at a speed which is probably unparalleled in the history of viruses, because of things like aeroplanes, people travelling all over the world, everything being so multinational, international. And it's true to say, I'm sure anyone who thinks, you know, it should have been acted on quicker, the World Health Organization should have been more upfront, quicker about how hazardous and what a problem this was going to be, should it get out into the wider world, and government should have been more listening to that, and borders should have been closed. Well, at least, yeah, borders should have been closed to sort of general travel, and then it should just have been for repatriation as such, involving enforced quarantines of 14 days for anyone coming back or forth from wherever. But it's too late to say all that now. All I'm asking of you, Mr. Boris Johnson, who I applaud for what you've gone through and come out of it the other side, and my thoughts are with you. I was worried about you, man. Pleased to see you back at the helm. But get us out of this in the best shape as a country, as a society, as an economy, and as a freedom-loving people, and as a carer of our elders, people, and the vulnerable. Get us out of this as quickly as you can, but by stages. Please do everything in your power to get us out of it in stages, and allow freedoms to return and the economy to re-establish in more normative steps as we go along the way. It's getting dark now, and you know, it's just like a sort of conscious stream of what I'm thinking, isn't it, this? So it's probably not interesting at all, but we all have the same goals at heart: to get out of this pandemic, to stay alive for our families, loved ones, and as many people as possible. Not to just stay alive, but to remain unaffected in a direct health sense. We also want to get out of it in a way that we can pick up our lives as best as we can, and as close to what we had before when we are out of it. And of course, that brings us on to a different thing, which I'm not going to go into detail about my sort of thoughts about right now. But if we thought the credit crunch was bad, then what we're going to do about the economy after this? Well, hopefully the furloughing scheme and supporting self-employed business and all that sort of thing is going to go some way to keeping things as preserved as they can be for when business is back up and running as normal, or as near normal as possible. I have some fears about certain things, which, in terms of like lifestyle, which I worry about. You know, like roller coasters and stuff. Obviously I would like a pint in the pub with mates as well, rather than drinking a can in the woods. But you know, those sorts of things we can leave until next month or the month after. But let's hope everything is being done for those businesses to survive, and government is giving them enough help. And let's hope government don't forget that they are still essential parts of the economy. Restaurants, pubs, cafes, all that sort of thing, and roller coasters and other kind of leisure parks and stuff. And so don't forget them, and factor them into how we get things back up and running as best as possible, as soon as possible in different sectors. But obviously the schools are at the top of your list, and I would hope churches as well. You have to face it, pubs aren't at the top of the list, but theme parks should be as important, let me say, as people attending football matches. Certainly, probably more so, because they don't require any policing. Don't want to get too controversial, but you don't need a load of police to police a theme park like you do with football matches. So I just want to throw that in there, at the risk of getting into trouble off lots of friends and people, but I'd rather see theme parks open before football grounds. Makes sense from a scientific virological point of view, but also because you don't need enforcement on hand like you do at, don't get me wrong, at some football matches. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you listen to this extra bit, and your thoughts back to me, please, if you want. I'm gonna try and find out what this was, and I'm sure I know many people who would know what it was anyway, so I'll ask them as well. But I'm just gonna finish my McEwen's export off in solitude now. I'm thinking solitude rather than just a stream of semi-consciousness coming at you. So, hey, take care folks, I'll talk to you soon, and get some exercise and enjoy yourselves sensibly, and stick to lockdown rules and stay away from people when out and about. shops like I'm doing. Be careful in the supermarkets as well. They're probably the greatest danger area at the minute. See you soon, folks.